Alright, here, so usually the canvas size I use is 1 to 80 and 720, and if you want it bigger you can multiply by 2 or 3. And so usually I'll start off with shoulder, spine line, and hip line. So that's the shoulder, that's the torso and spine line, and then the hips. And then that's the leg that carry the weight, which is kind of a little bit more straight down. And the other leg, the angle out, is the one that's gonna be a little more relaxed. So it's a bit more like 70-30. And these are just a sketch line that I will show you how I constructed the body, and then I will make another layer and draw over it. Okay, so and usually I will have the shoulder and the hips line being different, so it's going the opposite ways, which make a more dynamic pose, and it creates a C curve on the body and the S curve if you counting the neckline and the top of the head being another line. So just imagine like you have like a flat plane on your head and pointing, and then you can create a flat line. So now I lower the opacity on the sketch, and now I'm start drawing a little bit more refined line on top of it. I'm testing my Wacom a little bit. And this leg's going to be straight down, and it's going to carry more weight than the other legs. I'm trying to make my line consistent here, and if you notice when I draw the line, I just do one long stroke, and if it doesn't go the way I want it, I will do Control Z. But I would recommend do a lot of live drawing so you get a more accuracy on the line. Because in gesture drawing class you will get to draw people for like 1-2 minutes to get the pose, and you find a way to economize your line and get the most accurate posture that you could within the same amount of time. So it's a really good practice, and that's why live drawing class is really important, because it's pressure you to do a high intensity short amount of time trying to get the pose to correct. So if you like sit around and you have a reference there and just look at it forever, then you're not going to feel that pressure to get the best out of you. So live drawing is pretty valuable. So there, I'm just drawing the line. So I'm just going to slowly talking on the key point here. So since you know the key point from the intro, I'm just going to let you watch this video, and every time there's a key point showing up, I'm going to start interrupting you guys. And this right now, the cross on the face, that's a direction of where the face heading, and the line on the horizontal is the eye line, and the line on the vertical, as you know, is the line that separates the midline of where your nose would line up. So every time you're drawing a figure, you should kind of have that so you know which way it's turned. And now it's a weight 30-70. Okay, so, and if you notice, there will be the inside line and the outside line. This also represent which muscle is going in the front. So in here, the torso is coming overlapping, so it's the torso part is in front of the hip, and this part, the bicep, the forearm is like in front of the bicep, because the bicep go on the other, like the bicep is here, but it's the underside of your arm is basically bicep. So you see more of that, and in here you see this side of the knee, that side. It's become natural to you when you go in and draw a lot of gesture drawing to get those lines in place. Like in here you see the knee coming in the front and the calf going in the back, and in here you see bicep is in the front because the other side of the forearm is right behind it, in the opposite of that one. So it just becomes natural to you on that part. And usually the breast here, it will lie on top, the bottom of the breast will lie on top of your solar plex, and your solar plex is like the end of your rib cage basically. So that's a side note, key point. Alright, we got done with the first one, then I'm going to start on the second one. As you can see, you can feel more weight on the one that have 70%, and you can feel a lot less relaxed because it's a little more, it's bent, and it's a little more relaxed on the other leg. So every time you draw a figure, you have to try to achieve that, so it doesn't look like your figure are floating. This one, I'm going to have these legs I'm doing here. Usually the leg that carry the weight, I would draw that leg first, and usually it will be a straight line in the beginning. Then I'll do the other leg that's more relaxed. And again, notice the hip and the shoulder. It create that. In this one, I'm gonna make the twist. So your pelvis facing the left, but then I try to turn the torso or the chest to angle a little bit to the right side of the screen. Little subtlety is very important, especially when you doing a painting. So to know all these things is really important. It's not just the action pose that make everything important, which we will do the action pose in a month after this, but a lot of time I'll see a lot of artwork that have a more subtle pose, and doesn't look so convincing, that it's sometimes floating and it's not really standing. So there are a lot of things to be learned. Just making a simple pose look interesting by just putting weight on it, and you don't really have to do a fancy action pose unless you need to, which I will do a lot of those later on the later tutorial, the month to come, and we will also cover a bunch of stuff like sitting, a more natural stuff that people do, drawing body in perspective, and all that jazz. And just a slight twist and turn, if you can make it look convincingly good, then a lot of art directors see a bunch of things. So these little things, subtlety, they picked up on, and they will know that do you know your stuff or not when you send the stuff in. So it is really important to make the subtlety looks good. And like I explained earlier, the neck is in the middle of the collarbone and your back muscle, which on the back side you have those shoulder blade. So always think of the diamond shape, and the neck's coming out of the diamond shape on the shoulder. This one is basically 70-30 also, but she rests another foot on the higher platform. Slightly tricky, and also her body is going to twist slightly a little bit. key point here is I'm trying to get her hips to turn to the right side of the screen, and then her torso to turn the left side of the screen slightly. Or no, actually it's turning the same area, but let's probably make it easier here. But you can turn it on the torso to the other side of the screen. I think that was my intention to begin with, but I got carried away and I kind of make it a little more normal. You make her turn, it's probably look better, but oh well. And then she's probably carrying some stick that help she weight herself a little bit, or some sort of a, I don't know, what do you call that, I forgot. Spears, yeah. I'm going to try to do my best to put out what I really know, but the best way, I strongly recommend to go live drawing, and that's going to get you better really fast, and not even kidding, like, and it's fun. You go see people and you actually draw, but every time you go draw, you should focus on the specific things, like what do you want to work on. You want to work on proportion, or do you want to work on light and shadow, or there's so many things you go and you work on certain stuff. I used to go, basically when I was studying, I go like twice a week. Then when I was working, I still go twice a week. Nowadays I go like once, just because I have so many work to do. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next tutorial. There'll be a lot more to come, and a lot more to show you. Alright, bye.